Have you ever asked yourself which sport is truly the hardest to go pro in? Most people instantly assume football would be number one, and it makes sense. Football is everywhere. It's the biggest sport in the world, played by millions, watched by billions, and backed by an industry worth unimaginable amounts of money. But what if I told you that football might not even come close? Because while football dominates in popularity, there's another sport that often gets overlooked: ice hockey. A sport that's not only the fastest in the world, but also one of the most physically demanding and technically challenging ever created. Unlike football, where players run on solid ground, hockey is played on thin blades of steel, where balance, control, and precision have to be perfect at all times. One small mistake at high speed can cost you everything. And it doesn't stop there. Ice hockey is full contact, meaning players have to combine elite skill with raw toughness. You're not just competing against your opponent's talent, you're also dealing with constant physical pressure, hits, and the need to stay focused in a chaotic, fast-paced environment. It demands explosive strength, endurance, and lightning-fast decision-making all at once. So while football might be the biggest sport in the world, ice hockey might just be the hardest one to master. And in this video, we're going to break down exactly why, comparing both sports side by side to see which one is truly harder to go pro in. When we talk about becoming a professional, the numbers tell two completely different stories. In the world of football, the scale is staggering. It is a global industry that generates billions of dollars every single year, far more than any other sport on earth. But here's the catch. With that kind of money comes a brutal, overcrowded reality. Because football is so accessible, all you need is a ball and a bit of space. You aren't just competing with your neighborhood. You're competing with millions of hungry athletes from the favelas of Brazil to the academies of London and the streets of Lagos. To become a pro in football is to survive the most saturated talent pool in human history. The pyramid of competition is so wide at the bottom that reaching the top is almost statistically impossible. Now, look at hockey. The financial landscape is much tighter, and the barrier to entry is high. You need skates, pads, a stick, and, most importantly, ice. This naturally shrinks the talent pool. But don't let that fool you into thinking it's easier. While football has dozens of top-tier leagues where you can become a multi-millionaire, the Premier League, La Liga, the Bundesliga, the Saudi League, hockey has a much narrower peak. In reality, there is only one throne: the NHL. If you don't make it to that one specific stage, the drop-off is massive. In football, if you aren't good enough for Real Madrid, you can still make millions in a second-tier league or in another country. In hockey, if you don't make the NHL, you are fighting for scraps in minor leagues or European circuits where the pay gap is a canyon. In football, you fight a sea of people for 1,000 seats. In hockey, you fight a smaller group, but there is only one room at the top. The pressure to be perfect in hockey is suffocating because there is no safety net. Now we have to address the elephant in the stadium. Football is called the beautiful game, but it has developed a reputation that isn't always about beauty. Because the stakes are so high and the referee's whistle is so powerful, football players have turned simulation into a tactical art form. We've all seen it. A world-class athlete, a man at the peak of physical fitness, rolling on the grass in apparent agony because of a light tap on the ankle. In football, deception is a tool. If you can fake a foul, you win a free kick. You win the game. It's a strategic choice, but it has left a stain on the sport's image of toughness. But in hockey, if you stay down on the ice, it's because you literally cannot stand up. This is a sport where players finish their shifts with broken ribs. They get hit in the face with a puck traveling at 100 miles per hour, get 30 stitches in the locker room, and come back out for the third period. There's no acting when a 200-pound defender slams you into the boards at 30 miles per hour. The ice doesn't forgive, and neither do the players. In fact, hockey is the only mainstream sport that operates under the code. Fighting isn't just a breakdown of discipline. It's a sanctioned, unwritten rule to settle scores and protect teammates. You drop the gloves, you settle the beef with your fists, and you go to the penalty box. No diving, no crying to the ref, just raw, physical accountability. Is football soft? Not necessarily. Running for 90 minutes straight requires an elite level of cardio. But when it comes to pure, unfiltered grit, the ability to take a hit, lose a tooth, and keep skating, hockey is in a league of its own. One game is played for the cameras, the other is played for the scars. If you want to know who the true endurance athletes are, don't look at the speed, look at the calendar. In hockey, the schedule is a relentless nightmare. An NHL player faces 82 games in the regular season alone. Think about that. That is nearly a game every other night for 6 months straight. This includes back-to-back matches in different cities, thousands of miles apart, with midnight flights and zero time for recovery. And the 82 games. That's just the warm-up. If you make the playoffs, you enter a 2-month war of attrition where you might play another 28 games of the most violent hockey imaginable. There is no off-season. There is only a brief period of not bleeding. Now, let's look at football. In the world's top leagues, like the Premier League, a standard season consists of 38 games. Even the most elite players, including Champions League and international duty, rarely top 60 matches a year. Yes, a football match is a 90-minute marathon of constant running. The cardiovascular demand is higher, absolutely. But football players often get 4 to 5 days of rest between matches. They have time for their muscles to rebuild. Hockey players live in a constant state of impact and repair. In the NHL, you don't have time to heal, you just have time to tape it up. You are playing a high-impact collision sport on knives, chasing a frozen piece of rubber with almost zero recovery time. It's not just a sport, it's a test of how much a human body can take before it breaks. In professional sports, your body is your paycheck. But in both football and hockey, that paycheck comes with a massive physical debt. In football, the injuries are often silent. Because of the constant pivoting on grass, players suffer from devastating non-contact injuries, ACL tears, meniscus ruptures, and chronic hamstring pulls. These aren't always violent to watch, but they are deadly for a career. A single pop in the knee can rob a player of the speed that made them worth millions. But hockey is a different kind of violent. It is a collision sport occurring at 40 kilometers per hour. Statistics showed that professional hockey players suffer significantly more injuries than footballers. We are talking about an average of 15 to 20 significant injuries for every 1,000 hours of match play. While footballers fear for their ligaments, hockey players face a gauntlet of external destruction. Broken bones from blocked shots, deep lacerations from razor-sharp skate blades, and the most dangerous of all, concussions. The high-speed impact of a head hitting the glass or the ice causes a rate of brain trauma that is among the highest in all of sports. In hockey, an injury isn't an accident. It's an inevitable part of the job description. It's a badge of honor you earn almost every week, playing against a ticking clock before your body finally says no more. So, after looking at the numbers, the grit, and the pain, which sport is actually harder? If you measure hard by the sheer difficulty of standing out among 4 billion people, then football wins. The competition is a mountain that almost no one can climb. It is a game of incredible grace and infinite endurance. But if you measure hard by the price an athlete has to pay, the physical toll, the brutal schedule, and the sheer bravery required to step onto the ice every night, then football is nothing compared to hockey. One sport is a global dance. The other is a frozen war zone. One is about being the best in the world. The other is about surviving being the best in the world. What do you think? Is the massive competition in football harder to beat? Or is the physical grind of the NHL the ultimate challenge? Let us know in the comments.